G'day friends and fans, welcome to Dave Talks Stuff Ukraine War update for the 8th of April 2026. I'm your host, the author David Applegate. I will continue to bring you the unbiased opinions of myself and news from both sides of the war, primarily using Ukrainian sources to show you Russia's progress in the war, and if Ukraine ever pulls their finger out and realizes that they're not fighting for their homeland, they're fighting for their government. There's a big difference. I think that's why over 2 million Ukrainians have fled. Well, actually more than that. 7 million in the last couple of... 7 in the last 10 years, 2 in the last year. It's a big jump. Despite all their attempts to close their country off and keep outsiders from coming in. Yeah, the mainstream media will never tell you the truth. They don't want the truth. They want power. And they want to control narratives. Okay, so if we look at the live map, the Ukrainian map, you see Ukraine claims have hit the oil depot at Fedosia. Remember, they destroyed it. They destroyed it 6 months ago. So how could it be on fire again, you know? We destroyed the Russian economy, says Zelensky, and then they haven't. So much for Zelensky wanting no attacks on infrastructure, right? So, of course, Russia retaliated with the usual attacks across Ukraine. However, Russia targeted Ukrainians' cruise missile and launching facilities. And as we go around the map, it seems they're fighting at the predominantly to control the and keep control of the main border crossings. To build the buffer zone, according to even Ukraine's military, they admit that Russia's engaged in building a buffer between the two nations. Now, there's hardly any progress to report as we go around the map. There's been a lot of fighting and some advance near Prevalence. Of course, Ukraine has stopped talking about Harishny. Remember when they said we'll hold Prevalence? All right. So as we go around, yeah, there's still much ado about nothing in here, much ado nothing in here, little bits here and there. No, I do not know whether the Russians are stalled or deliberately stalling or waiting to prime the conditions, I suppose, for a major offensive, or they never intended one, that they changed doctrine and they're not going to engage in huge offensives anymore. Instead, they're going to grind and keep firing drones at Ukraine every day. There's been mixed reports about battle rifles. Russia is on a slow rollout since 2023 of the AK-12. It is the official battle rifle of Russia, but for now, it is predominantly with the army, which means there's still the Navy and other forces which are using the older AK-97. And they have increased production, and the latest batch has been delivered to Russian Special Forces. Contrary to popular belief, it is not a 22mm. That was a civilian model that they were marketing, I believe. Here we go. It's a 5.56. Hold on. Clearing the chamber. .556, highly accurate, and as you can see, it could even take down a drone. Low-flying drone. reflex sight, one of the most forward grip, one of the most popular accessories on a rifle, especially a battle rifle, is the forward grip, although a lot of people tend to prefer the grenade launcher or even the good old bayonet, and it's got a bayonet lug if you've noticed. But bayonets are rarely used, and yeah, as you can see, selectors, various racks for accessories, and through the alright, so got the various mounts showing off to show you how tooled and precision Russians have. So, and as you can see, it does come with a suppressor standard, and yeah, it has been licensed apparently to an Israeli company, allegedly, as it's shown here. They're using the short barrel, and they do produce it in a NATO round, by the way, for the so this is the standard trench coat tactic, 2-man teams. Yeah, the SK, the AK-12Ks, I believe, is the you got the standard Russian round, the AK-12 7.62. You've got the AK-K, I believe. Is the 5.45, and then you've got 5.45 and the 5.45 45, 5.45 by 45. And Kalashnikov have also, they do have a long barrel sniper of a heavier caliber. I think it's 12.7. They do have a battle, a heavy battle rifle slash sniper rifle. There you've got the the short. There's the long. Yeah, I do have variations. Yeah. And you can see why in trench warfare you do not want a long barrel. You want a short barrel to clear those corners quickly. I think that's pretty much it. Well, yeah, they could penetrate standard ceramic plates. Everybody knows that. 5.45. Yeah, there's the big boy right there. They've shown it off. A number of countries are allegedly rolled up for this, including Israel, apparently. So, but I mean, Israel has always bought a batch of everyone's guns, if you haven't noticed. Now, the battlefield has seen around 170 clashes. Allegedly, half of them took place around Pavlovsk and 2 other fronts. Now, as you can see by even by their own maps, right? So Ukraine is divided 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each oblast. So it's pretty much the same, but I see more than 2. I see more than 2 fronts clashing. More than 3 fronts clashing. So 172, including mostly on Kalashnikovia, I would agree. And there was push. No, they're not. It's no longer Pavlovsk front. It is here's a pool. Hizhnik, that place up in the top court above. Yeah. So, don't know why they call it the Pavlovsk front, but Hulapol, yeah, they've pushed past Hulapol as well. Now, they are stuck at Hulapol, and Khrushchevia and Kharkiv, a little bit stuck in Chavez-Yar, but north of that they made small progress, and same in Zaporozhye, very small. Eventually they'll have to update the maps eventually. But for now, Ukraine is stalling. They have there was reports of Russian build-ups, but those were resupplies. Ukraine was unable to disrupt the Russian resupply missions to their forces in Zaporozhye. And so we get to what is going on the other side of the war. Well, on the other side of the war, Russia's taking interest in the vice president, having left Pakistan, I believe, headed to Brussels, did a stop over in Hungary to campaign with Viktor Orban to show support for Viktor's attempts to bring peace to Ukraine. Now, things were quite friendly. They have spoken about Ukraine's energy problems and the Turk Stream pipeline and how to keep Europe energy independent. Because, last thing you want is any one country controlling your energy, whether it's Iran or Russia. And yet, for some reason, Europe is quite happy to pay Iran's blackmail, which, America should have just said, but the other countries aren't, said, hey, okay, you're fine to pay it, but no, these other countries aren't. They're in the firing line, you're not. Now they want to work together to end the conflict, and apparently brought up that one of Hungary's parties has been working with Ukrainian intelligence to undermine Viktor Orban's position in the Hungarian elections, which has backfired on them. Huge crowds turned out to see J.D. Vance at the stadium. Oh, humans are already in contact with aliens. I guess they've seen downtown LA. Russia's forces have claimed another successful mission in which we'll hear from 3 to 6 months' time. Ukraine finally confirmed it indeed happened, like the mission against the F-16s, even though one was actually an Su-27, but they did destroy 2 aircraft in that mission. But one was an Su-27, and the Ukrainians have only admitted to the Su-27 being destroyed. After 5 months, you think they'd turn around? No, because they don't want to pay the pilot's widow extra compensation for him being incinerated. I don't know. Apparently, they claim it was a crash. They get some sort of, but they have to prove it was a crash. Yeah, they just can write him off, apparently, because he crashed. That's Ukraine. Penny pinching to the end, right? Left. Well, I'm just tired of their lies. And people claiming I'm full of Russian disinformation when you can see the Ukrainians are lying about... I don't know how good this rifle is. People are saying it is, it's not a game changer. It's not going to, suddenly... It will probably bring down Russia's costs. As you know, transporting goods from China, even on the best of days, Russia seems to find more and more delays and cope from China. There were delays in ammunition. China is proving to be a very unreliable business partner for most countries, not just Russia, but for China, for India. Well, Russia has been trying for years to get a railway, but China has been blocking it. And yeah, it was supposed to be part of the Belt and Road. There was supposed to be a spur, but apparently a bridge collapsed in Pakistan, and Pakistan doesn't want through trade for India without their getting their little taste of the action. So everybody's a gangster. Everybody complains, but everybody's a gangster. You know, this is, you should be Watanabe and sit in the sideline and say, these two kaijus, let them fight. You know, let them fight. And it'll burn out very quickly. Very quickly. You know, Ukraine has to accept a peace deal, and they won't. You know, everybody's complaining now, oh, Trump's a taco, he chickened out in the end. But wait, didn't you want him to stop? Which is it? You know, he stopped, he did what you want, and now you're complaining that he did what you want. It's the same in Ukraine. Everybody's talking about peace, but Zelensky goes home and he puts his foot down in Parliament and says, there's no peace deal unless Russia agrees to my 28-point plan. 100%. No negotiations. And then they all stand and clap, and the Western media refuse to show it. So what's the point of talking peace in Ukraine when we all know Ukraine will not accept it? They say they will. That's all PR. It's the same with all these drone strikes they deny. They said, oh, that we shot down 130 drones out of 178. Well, where are the others? What did they hit? Why can we see more about the Iran war than we can, or the Afghan war, than the Ukraine war? Nobody's curious about what Ukraine is hiding. And when a left-wing journalist comes out and says, well, they're hiding massive casualties, and Trump agrees, everybody says that's Russian disinformation. Really? A left-wing journalist agreeing with Trump. Yeah. That's what a clown, it's pure clown world. Can't make this stuff up. Alright, so little progress made, but big losses by Ukraine is unfortunate. Like, 365 days, that's 360, for around 300,000 dead Ukrainians for 2025. And all the left can do is say, we must win at any price. But you're not paying it. You're not fighting it. You want victory in Ukraine? Well, 2 million of you get off your ass and go to Ukraine. And I can guarantee, if you live, you might just see the end of this war. But most of you, that's why you won't go. Because you want someone else to do the sacrifice and for you to claim the victory. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Please support the channel and support me on Ko-Fi, Patreon. Buy my books, buy my merch. I appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video, and bye for now.